We've all heard the claim, 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. Some even say we know more about the surface of Mars than we do about the floor of our own oceans. But here's a question almost nobody asks. Do we even understand what's right here on land with us? Because scattered across our planet are things that should not exist. Artifacts older than recorded history. Structures that modern machines couldn't replicate. Tools created without metal by people who didn't even have writing. Real, physical objects that we can see and touch, yet their creators, their purpose, and even their very existence defy logic. These are 7 real discoveries science still cannot explain. And no, this isn't fiction. Everything you're about to hear is real.
The Voynich Manuscript. In a quiet library at Yale University, sealed behind glass, rests a book that has driven some of the world's brightest minds to madness. It's called the Voynich Manuscript. Discovered in the early 1900s, it contains hundreds of pages filled with strange illustrations, plants that don't exist anywhere on Earth, symbols no one has ever decoded, and flowing text written in a language never spoken by humans. U.S. military code breakers, cryptographers, AI models, historians, all have tried to crack it. None have succeeded. Some say it's the work of a forgotten civilization. Others think it was an ancient prank. But here's the strange part. Whoever wrote it knew exactly what they were doing. The text follows patterns and structures that mimic real languages. It's not nonsense. It's just untranslatable.
The Antikythera Mechanism. In 1901, a group of sponge divers searching off the coast of Greece stumbled upon a Roman shipwreck. Among the broken amphorae and corroded coins, they recovered a lump of bronze fused with wood and coral. At first, it looked like sea junk, but once archaeologists cleaned it, something shocking appeared. Gears. Real interlocking gears, precisely cut. This was no statue. It wasn't art. It was a machine. Today, it's known as the Antikythera Mechanism, a 2,000-year-old device capable of tracking the stars, predicting eclipses, and mapping lunar cycles. In simple terms, it was an ancient computer, not from the 1800s, not from the Renaissance, but from ancient Greece. And here's the part that stuns scientists. Technology anywhere near this level wouldn't appear again for another 1,000 years. It's like finding a smartwatch buried in a Bronze Age village. So who built it? Where did the knowledge come from? And if they could build something this advanced, what else might they have created that's now lost to history?
The Baltic Sea Anomaly. In 2011, a Swedish diving crew scanning the Baltic Sea floor picked up something strange on sonar. A massive circular object, 60 meters wide, perfectly round with sharp angles, a ramp, even what looked like carved steps. At first, they thought it might be a shipwreck, but ships aren't symmetrical like this. This looked more like a UFO. When divers went down to investigate, things got even weirder. Lights flickered, radios died, compasses spun wildly. One diver even passed out. Others said the silence underwater felt unnatural, like the ocean itself had stopped breathing. Experts dismissed it as a natural rock formation, but no rock formation disrupts electronics like that. And no natural structure looks quite like this. To this day, the anomaly remains there on the seafloor, unexplained, untouched, and watching.
Sacsayhuamán, High in the Andes Mountains of Peru, near the ancient city of Cusco, stands a wall unlike anything else on Earth. Not tall, not decorated, but built with such perfection it almost shouldn't exist. It's made of massive stones, some as big as cars, others heavier than a private jet. Yet they fit together so tightly that not even a razor blade can slide between them. No mortar, no cement, just rock, perfectly locked. And here's the shocking part. This wall was built by the Inca, a civilization with no iron tools, no wheels, no written language, a so-called Stone Age people. Yet this wall behaves like something from the future. It has survived centuries of brutal earthquakes, disasters that reduced nearby structures to rubble, yet this wall didn't even crack. When modern engineers attempt to replicate it, they need cranes, lasers, and computers. The Inca supposedly used stone hammers and manpower. So how did they do it? And was this knowledge truly theirs, or something passed down from a more advanced source?
The Patomskiy Crater. Deep in the remote forests of Siberia, there's a hill no animals go near. Locals call it the Fire Eagle's Nest. It's a massive cone-shaped mound over 40 meters tall, built entirely of stone. At the very top sits a smooth dome-like structure that almost looks artificial. The ground around it is scorched, littered with crushed limestone, as though something exploded there. But there are no volcanoes in the region, no impact craters, nothing that explains it. Stranger still, the area seems wrong. Compasses spin out of control, GPS signals vanish, trees grow twisted, birds won't nest, animals won't enter. Scientists have suggested it was caused by a massive underground explosion, something like the Tunguska event. Others think it's not natural at all, that it might be artificial and not necessarily man-made. Attempts to study it always fail. Equipment breaks. Researchers fall mysteriously ill, as if the place itself rejects intruders. Some say it's cursed. Others whisper something lies buried beneath it, something we were never meant to find, and maybe something that's still alive.
The Baigong Pipes. In the deserts of western China, near the edge of a dried-up salt lake, there's a strange mountain that hides a mystery. Embedded in the rock are metal pipes. Not debris, actual pipes that run deep inside the mountain, with others stretching downward into the lake bed, as if connected to something buried below. When tested, the results were astonishing. These pipes are over 150,000 years old. That's long before humans had cities, tools, or even farming. And yet the pipes are deliberately designed. Some are joined with clean T-shaped connectors. Others form branching networks, like a modern plumbing system. The metals used don't naturally occur in this way. Some even appear to have been welded with heat, something humans of that era should not have been able to do. Chinese authorities eventually investigated. Their explanation? Fossilized tree roots that had absorbed minerals over time. But roots don't form perfect cylinders. They don't interconnect with joints, and they certainly don't weld together. So the questions remain. Who built them? What were they for? And why, thousands of years before civilization even began, were they hidden in the middle of nowhere?
These were 7 of the strangest discoveries that science cannot explain. Real objects, real places, real mysteries. So the question is, do we truly understand the story of human civilization? Or is there a missing chapter, one we were never meant to uncover?